What's going on, everybody? So this was originally not the video idea for today. I had another video idea to do for today. However, I just have to talk about this. This just came up in my feed, and I'm like, this is crazy. Danny Antonucci on reviving Ed, Edd n Eddy. By the way, this comes from Toon Hive, and actually this is a whole animation magazine article where they interviewed him. Ed, Edd n Eddy creator Danny Antonucci looks back on his much-loved 25-year-old show, to where he eventually even talks about a remake or a reboot. It's hard to believe that it's been 25 years since Canadian animator, writer, and producer Danny Antonucci rocked the TV animation world with his iconic Cartoon Network show Ed, Edd n Eddy. The hand-drawn series, which premiered in January 1999, followed the hilarious antics of three friends who lived in a suburban cul-de-sac in the town of Peach Creek, and often came up with harebrained schemes to make a fast buck and satisfy their cravings for jawbreakers. Antonucci, a talented Sheridan grad who was best known for his adult-skewing shorts such as Lupo the Butcher and MTV's Cartoon Sushi and the Brothers Grunt, decided to get into the world of children's animation as the result of a dare and delivered 6 charming seasons, 69 episodes, of Ed, Edd n Eddy, plus a TV movie that wrapped it all up during its final season. We recently had a great fortune of catching up with the iconic Vancouver-based animation star to mark the occasion. Here's what he told us. Cul-de-sac Kids. The first episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy premiered on Cartoon Network in January 1999. Airing for over 10 years, the show became the Cabler's longest-running series at that time. Animation Magazine. First of all, happy 25th birthday of the animated Eds to you. Danny, how does it feel to look back after all these crazy years? You know, it was so weird how it all happened. I was doing my own thing, coming from Lupo the Butcher and the Brothers Grunt and TV commercials, everything with an adult bent. Then I got a call from these 2 young bucks from Nickelodeon, and they say, hey, why don't you do a kids show? And I laughed in their face. But meanwhile, I did this design for a commercial, and as soon as I drew this, I started getting these ideas about these 3 kids who were friends because they have the same name, and puberty is unforgiving. That was it. I did a 1-pager on it and sent it to Nickelodeon, and they just jumped on it and they loved it. I then thought I should send this to Cartoon Network because I was good friends with Linda Semensky, top development executive at the cable station at the time, and knew all the folks there. So Linda said they wanted to see more, so I just started developing it. It came out flowing pretty well. A lot of it has to do with my own life experiences. That's what the whole show was about, growing up as a kid and all the awkwardness about it. I thought that was kind of missing from television at the time. That's how it all came about, and Cartoon Network was the one that went for it, and Linda and Khaki Jones and Jay Bastian were the greatest to work with. Of course, I never quite expected it to catch on, and the first season, well, actually for the first 3 years, there was a lot of breaking teeth because we didn't do a pilot. We went straight into the series. But by the end of it, I thought it turned out really nicely, and you started to get a good feeling for the characters. I just wanted to create characters you could believe in and relate to, just like the cartoons that I grew up with. And we get to see tons of Eddie here, all of his different facial designs. What were some cartoons that really shaped your sensibilities and style? Oh, this is going to really show my age. For me, it was a lot of Fleischer Popeye cartoons, Warner Brothers and MGM tunes, Tex Avery, Quick Draw McGraw, and Huckleberry Hound. A lot of stuff that was being played on TV in those days. There was one cartoon that was a live-action animated Popeye cartoon that actually made me want to get into animation. I couldn't get over the fact that I could draw something and then make it move. I did a Saturday afternoon course in high school and made a little short film called The Adventures of Barf Man. I worked through high school, always with the agenda of going to Sheridan College, which at the time was the only school in Canada which offered a major in animation. And that's how it all came to be. So, of course, you made a big impact with your popular festival short, Lupo the Butcher, and with your adult animation series. We started AKA Cartoon Studios in 1994 to produce The Brothers Grunt, which was on MTV. And it was a very surreal show. We wanted to make an acid hangover cartoon, and it really went there. It was a very strange show. We were lucky to do it. Abby Turkle, John Andrews, and all those folks at MTV Animation were very supportive. We laughed and we made the show and got it to air. Wild Boys. A big fan of the cartoons of the 1940s, Danny Antonucci wanted Ed, and Eddy to have its own distinctive style, featuring squiggly lines and chaotic energy that reflected the friends' state of mind. I love that. I never thought of it reflecting their state of mind. I don't know if this is something that's really shown in the show. Everyone's line work moves the same regardless of character. Or if they are different, I've never noticed. Let's talk about the wonderful auteur-driven animation scene of the time. Why do you think 1999 was such a great time for TV Toons? That was a year when real cartoon lovers had studio positions, and they helped push the art form. They respected the creators and artists and supported their vision. You had all this stuff that was really ruling. It was hard to find your own niche, but Cartoon Network let you do what was really cool back then. They really let artists stay true to their visions, so it was really nice that I was able to do that and that the audience related to it. I think it's sad that we're seeing a lot less creator-driven shows on TV these days. Everything seems to look the same. They rely too much on their stats and sheets and Wednesday morning sheets, and they're afraid to take any chances. How do Ed, and Eddy fans react when they see you at events? You know, it's amazing. A few years ago, I was helping out some friends from another studio at the CTN Expo in LA, and this girl recognized me and she burst out crying. I think it's because of how much they related to the characters of the show. We really stuck to what kids would really go through in their own lives, and it was always outdoors. There were no cell phones and no computers. They were always making things. A lot of kids locked into their own world and making their own playtime. But it is insane to see kids who have grown up with the show come to tell you that the show was a big part of their childhood. It's really flattering. You know, I never won any awards in the US or in Canada. It doesn't bother me. What really cracks me up is that I have so many drawings from fans and so many interpretations of the show. To me, that's the best. I love it. Have you had any discussions about bringing the show back in any form? Laughing. Oh, sure. Do an AI version. Funny, Danny. For me, I've done what I was going to do. I mean, if the network wants to do it, all the best to them. It will fail. Miserably. They could have done a lot of things, like spin-offs with some of the characters. I've been told you can do it for Adult Swim, and they're all grown up. But then you're just repeating an idea. It was what it was, and to go back and revisit would not be the same. I understand that sentiment. I'm a bit disappointed in that. I agree with what he says here. They could have done a lot of things like spin-offs with some of the characters. Basically what he's implying is when he was still super into the show and super into that time period and super into what was going on, basically he's like, if Cartoon Network wanted to make a phone call and said, hey, you know, Kevin is a really popular character, Jimmy is a really popular character, or we really like Ed specifically, we want to spin off just about them, that character. He's saying that could have happened, but they never did it. So that's quite unfortunate. What are some signs of hope, and what makes you smile in animation? Oh, I think the stop-motion world is beautiful, and there's some great work being done. Because I'm all about anything that's handmade. But I am not a big fan of what computer animation is giving us. He's said this before. He's not a fan of computer animation. I think it just looks the same and a little bit too emo and weird for me. They're not letting people put their visions on the air anymore. And I know that Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon are doing their little things, but at the end of the day, what is coming out now that's new and exciting? That's what I love about the stop-motion world. I would love to see Lupo in stop motion. I spent 2 years developing a Lupo project for Netflix. Then, at the last second, they said, can you change it to PG-13? Now, Lupo has always been an R-rated project. And after 2 years of doing storyboards, I just couldn't do that. Before that, Warner Brothers approached me to do my own version of Scooby Doo. This would be awesome. I really didn't want to do it, but they talked me into it. After a year of legal, they canned it. That frustrates you as an artist. That is so unfortunate. Guys, imagine a Danny Antonucci run Scooby Doo. That sounds awesome. I think it just has to be done with the right people, just done right and with the right people. I'm sorry, but I would still love to do an animated adult series based on Lupo. I think it has to be done right with the right people. But I'm a big proponent of animation, and I've adored it all my life. And then here's someone's picture of almost all of the Ed, and Eddy merch that's currently available. Fans loved the wide variety of toys, comics, and collectibles featuring the characters in the show. older followers gravitate to the property's retro appeal as well. What kind of advice do you give young people who want to get into animation without having their souls crushed? Oh, let's see. Start flipping burgers, maybe? No. I came into the biz around 79, 80, and that was a pretty bad time for TV animation. There were no outlets for individual creators, so it was a pretty neat how things worked out, because I was determined to do independent projects like Lupo. For me, getting into the system and what was being done in the TV world, that was what was more intriguing. I wanted to go in there and put a burr up their asses, and many weren't thrilled about that. But that's okay, because I was there as an artist with a vision. I wanted to make sure that I got that vision across. So my advice for kids coming into the biz is stick by who you are. Never take no for an answer, and go in and put a burr up their asses. Hell yeah, Danny. Ed, and Eddy is currently available to stream on Max, Prime Video, and Apple TV+. That's an amazing interview. Thank you so much, Danny Antonucci, for your time. And thank you so much for letting us know the insights on what could have been or would have been either more spin-offs for Ed, and Eddy, or for what you really think about the Eds potentially coming back in some way, shape, or form. And there's the whole, apparently, article here in speech from Danny himself, probably there. It seems, listen to this article now. But anyways, guys, that's the video. What do you guys think? Do you guys really enjoy Danny's comments about the potential return for Ed, and Eddy? Or are you guys kind of okay with the fact that it's done, over with? Would you guys have liked to have seen spinoffs? Would that have been something you guys would have liked to have seen? And if so, what kind of spinoff do you think could have come from it? Leave those comments down below in the description down below, or I'm sorry, in the comments down below as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Thanks so much to Loser HD, The Plush Experience, Kame Senin, and Susan Simone for becoming members. If you would also like to become a member, on my channel there is listed multiple different tier levels, and you can pick out which one is best for you.